top motivator in the world and your sober messenger. I'm clocking in. Yo, it's a lot going on out here. It's a lot going on out here from the tariffs to uh, uh, we have a young man named Tracy Haynes uh, crashing out. And you try to make something out of it and you really can't, right? You got the people trying to cancel Wallow, you know what I'm saying, um with his speech about black businesses and things of that nature. TK gets 80 more years in the penitentiary based on the murder case. He didn't get capital punishment, but he did get um he still got hit with a M1. So they gave him 80 years. You might as well say that's life. It's a lot going on out here. Playoffs started, you know what I'm saying? Or playoffs about to start today. I believe today is Saturday. What's the day's date? Today is Saturday, April 19th, 2025. So it's a lot going on. I'm going to talk about, I'm going to start off with this young man, 17 years old, Tracy Haynes. I want to talk about this, man, because it's things that you can get out of situations if you want to get out of a situation, right? So we got to look at things from a devil's advocate, and we also got to look at things from an angel's advocate. Is both perspectives play a role in what's going on here, right? So Tracy Haynes, he's a 17-year-old kid. I forgot the high school down in Texas, right? That he attends down in Texas. And again, I'm looking at things from an angel's advocate and a devil's advocate. You got to look at both perspectives. I come from an angel's advocate, but you got to look at both perspectives, right? So you know, you going through things in high school. I went to an all black high school. I went to Overbrook High School in Philly. You know what I'm saying? All black high school. It was a lot going on. Fights every day. You know what I'm saying? People getting shot. People got shot. Kids got shot. But it wasn't getting shot wasn't a raw deal in high school. Now, Tracy, I understand how you feel from a devil's advocate, right? I want to look at things from I don't want to be subjective. I want to be objective, right? Well, I'm going to be subjective right here. Somebody's threatened to kill you. You a young man, you black, you come from possibly a black environment where we don't do no telling. This is the thing. It's pride and no telling. Pride and no telling. This is what we've been living by for the past 100 years. It's your pride and no telling. So you're going through things, right? And you feel like, yo, I ain't gonna tell on these guys, right? And my pride said, I'm still coming to school. I'm still gonna do this. I'm still gonna do that. This is your pride. This is your ego talking to you, right? From a devil's advocate, this is your ego talking to you. So you still come to school. Not only do you come to school, right? You come to school with a pistol. You come to school with a pistol. What do you think is going to happen, sir? Your pride told you to come to school with a pistol and and you're not even trying, you're not trying to, and this is not making it right, but you're not really aiming at your target. You're not aiming and shooting, you're shooting and aiming. Again, we're not We don't brag about the negative things that we've done in our lives, but you can't erase history. Get it? We're not bragging about the negative things that we've done in our lives, but you can't erase history. So you didn't take the death threats lightly. Okay, you didn't take the death threats lightly. So your pride said, I am going to that school. I'm going back to my school. I'm bringing a gun with me. And if I see these guys, I'm airing it out. And that's what you did. Somebody snuck you in the back door. You went into school around innocent people. I'm not talking about the people that you were going back and forth with or whatever you went through. I'm talking about the innocent people, teachers, faculty, staff, students, more importantly, that didn't have nothing to do with it. And you were just shooting and aiming. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Because you felt threatened. Well, the devil's advocate perspective is, if I feel threatened, I'm going to do something too. Okay, cool. Now let's look at things from an angel's advocate now. Let me be objective now. So how could we have squashed this? How could we have eliminated? Because we got to stop looking at the game in the fourth quarter, right? We got to stop looking at the game in the fourth quarter. It's practice. Then it's the game when it starts. First, second, third, fourth quarter. It's practice, first, second, third, fourth quarter. So from an angel's advocate, how could Tracy have made a better decision? We know we don't take threats lightly. The question is, what could he have done to be proactive instead of reactive? Because the judge don't care about you having death threats. The judge doesn't care about that. You know what the judge care about? What is the sentence going to be? That's what the judge care about. So you had the opportunity to think, young man, and for the young men out there that's watching this, for the young men out there that's experienced, that has experienced or experiencing what Tracy Haynes is going through, what was the proactive thought? What was the angel's advocate move? What was the objective? How could you have made yourself better opposed to going with your pride and going with this, it ain't no ratting rule. Ain't no snitching rule. Because after you receive 30 years, 50 years, 80 years in the penitentiary and you're on year 10, then that's when it's going to sink in. It might sink in way before then. However, year 10, this is when it sinks in. Did I have to go in that school and shoot the school up because I had a death threat? Let me rewind. Did I have to go to that school with my gun, not a gun, you had a chopper, whatever you had, and shoot the hallway up because I had some death threats? This is when it's going to hurt, because you can rewind the time in your memory bank, but you can't rewind the time in the physical. So you're done, buddy. You could have talked to a parent or a guardian. Okay, well, you ain't got a parent or a guardian. I'm trying to wean out everything that I can possibly think of before it's get locked up because of some shootings. Now, thank God nobody died. So that part right there is good for you. So you're 17 years old. If you get 50 years in the penitentiary, you will come home 67. You can possibly come on. If I don't know what they're going to give you. I don't know. I'm just thinking of a number. 50 years, you're 57 years old. You still got life at the end of the tunnel. You still got light at the end. It's life and light at the end of the tunnel. But this is the thing that I be talking about. Being proactive. Yeah. Being proactive. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 Being proactive. Right? So many times we get ourselves caught up in the fact that, yo, I gotta be impulsive. I gotta move right away. I can't, all I got to my name is my name. That's all I got. I ain't got no money in my name. I ain't got no credit in my name. I ain't got no insurance in my name. I ain't got no life insurance in my name. The only thing I got in my name is my name. And with my name comes what? Pride. Where do pride get you? You use pride to go buy a house. See if it works. Use pride to go get a car. See if it works. Use pride to go get a job. See if it works. Use pride to go get something to eat. See if it works. Pride gets you in the richest place in the world. You want to know what that is? It's the grave. That's where pride gets you. Pride will put you in the richest place in the world, which is the grave. You want to know why? Because there's so many people in the grave that were afraid of their $1 trillion idea, was afraid of their $1 trillion mindset, was afraid of failure, was afraid of going to the next level. So that's where pride gets you. Or pride will get you locked up around a bunch of men on drugs, being touched and victimized, whether it's sexually or physically. That's where pride will get you. So Tracy Haynes, you are a young man, 17 years old. You happy now? And the ill part about it is you appear, the way you were talking, the way you were talking while you were driving, your last message, you appear to have some sense. You appear to be a smart kid. You were very respectful. You were very fluent with your words. What was going on up here that made you say, I am going into that school where all the cameras are at, where all the innocent people are at, and I am going to shoot. As soon as I see him, I'm shooting him. What was the rage? Pride gets you nowhere but in the penitentiary or the richest place in the world, which is the grave. And if I don't know what it feels like to be 17 years old facing what Tracy Haynes is facing. I was 17 years old before. Peer pressure, ego, right? Suffering from an identity crisis, a lot of trauma, mom on drugs, father on drugs, heavy abuse. I've seen my mother abused by my father. I've been, me personally, being neglected by my mother and my father. Watching my mother get shot, watching my mother get stabbed, watching my mother go through, seeing my father go through so many things, getting shot. So I understand, growing up in a family where I've been abused. I get it. Maybe not at 17, but I felt what I felt before 17 years old. So I get trauma. I get everything. So when a kid is going through what they're going through, and you have someone that's been through what you've been through, you need to connect. Because the difference about back then and the difference now is you can talk now. You couldn't talk back then. It was one of those things where it's like you were scared to say what you're going through. So the anger and the rage, yes, or whatever it is that you're feeling inside, any negative feeling, yeah, you're going to take it out in other ways. It's the drugs, it's the sex, it's the aggression, right? I got to do something to be seen, to be heard indirectly. I advise you, Tracy, if I had to say one thing, I advise you to immediately start going to therapy, finding a counselor, finding something that's going to that you're going to be able to release, that's going to help you release. Because I'm not going to say you never went through anything, because I don't know what you've been through. I don't know you. But now you got to go through something totally different. And guess what? Your life is on the line. Your life is on the line. And I hope you are able to get next to people that were just like you, and they can walk you through it. They can guide you through it. They can lead you through it, because you're going to need a lending hand. You appear to be. You appear to be. I'll say this again. You appear to be a good kid. And for the children out there, for the kids out there, for the young adults out there, is it really worth it? It's one thing to say, how can we stop it before it's too late? How can we stop it before it's too late? Because when it's too late, it's too late. So you got people like, well, my man got killed, so it's too late. It's up. Okay, cool. I get that, right? Like, you got some people you could possibly talk to and be like, yo, listen, is this really you? Like, all jokes aside, we gotta stop confusing a person with heart that's not afraid and a person that's just all in. We have to stop confusing the two. A person that's all in, they were just born into it. Like, yo, this been me. Like, I'm there. Then you got a person that's like, yo, I really don't want to be into that, but I'm not afraid of nobody. Okay, so let me talk to you, the one that's not afraid of nobody. You don't have to be a part of it. The harsh reality is, there's going to be people that's just, this is what they're built for. This is who they are. You could be a civilian that's not afraid. A civilian, but I'm not afraid. It's a difference. It's civilians that don't want no trouble, right? They mind their business. They don't instigate. They don't do anything. Then there's civilians that grew up in this environment. They're not afraid. They've been through fights and all of that, but they don't want no parts of that life. If you're suffering from an identity crisis, get it fixed now before it's too late. Because there's people out there that they know, listen, I'm a die or go to jail. That's just it. I'm in the streets. You can't like harsh. Like, listen, trying to change everybody's, that's impossible. There's going to be deaths. There's going to be shootings, stabbings, robberies. That this is it's been going on since the day of time. I mean, you can't change it. It's nothing. You just can't do it. But at the end of the day, right? Um, you got wait a minute. Hold on, guys. But at the end of the day, we can help those who want to be helped, right? So I hope Tracy Haynes finds his way around people that can guide him in the right direction. I hope that, you know, they do. I hope his lawyer be able to give him the best deal ever. I mean, it's inevitable. He's going to do some time. I don't know how much, but ain't no getting out of this. It's just like this. This is. Do I want him to do time? No. However, this is the way. This is the law. And you have to be, you have to go through something, sir. You got to go through something. You got to be reprimanded somehow, some way. It's just unfortunate. It got to be in a penitentiary. Somebody would have got killed, then what? An innocent bystander got hurt, then what? So you got to go through the consequences. It's just unfortunate. Like I said before, you appear to be a great kid. So moving along, we got Wallow. Wallow is being ridiculed for his comments, or not his comments, but his speech, right? Wallow stated that 70% of, so he was speaking at a seminar, and I'm sure people paid Wallow and whomever. I'm sure people paid to see these guys speak, including Wallow, right? Like they paid to see Wallow speak too, all right? And Wallow just got straight to the point, you know? And I'm gonna try to be exact on what he stated. 70% of, he's not being finessed by you saying you're a black owner. He's not being finessed behind that, right? You know what I'm saying? You can't use that to get people to buy in, right? And to support you, right? He don't deal with black. His thing is, it's not just black business, it's quality, right? The harsh reality is 70% of the people are not going to make it. So when you say you got this black business, 70% of these black businesses is not going to make it, right? He doesn't see color, right? He sees quality. What else? What else? What else? He goes on to say, well, is your service good? You know what I'm saying? Do you got cooks? Right? Are you open on time? Right? He talks about he's not no fake motivational speaker, right? That just be saying stuff, right? He's going to give the real. He is a millionaire. Y'all, he stated that you see me when I got out of the penitentiary, I make millions and I make millionaires, right? I might have missed a few things here and there. However, I understood what Wallow was trying to convey to the people, right? I understand that a lot of us are not going to make it, right? A lot of us are not going to, be able to be successful. Um, you can't just expect people to say, "Oh yeah, you're a black-owned business. I'm coming to support," right? Um, there's going to be people that's going to ridicule you. They're going to critique you. They're going to look for shortcomings and imperfections in your business, right? But I am an angel's advocate, not a devil's advocate. But I do respect the devil's advocate aspect of it, which he's totally right. But from an angel's advocate, right? I just think his approach was all wrong. When people speak about the harsh reality, right? A lot of black people, a lot of us, not all of us, I'm going to be clear, not all black people, but a lot of black people love the phrase harsh reality because it feeds the dopamine. When we hear the phrase harsh reality, it feeds the dopamine. So when you hear the phrase harsh reality, you're not, if you ever hear a person say, "Yo, it's the harsh reality," and then they add on to the harsh reality. So my question is, how do we eliminate, how do we take away from the harsh reality, right? And figure out what can we do better? I gotta hear the harsh reality. But the harsh reality has to come with a solution. The harsh reality has to come with change within the infrastructure of whatever your business is or whatever it is that you're going through. You can give me the harsh reality. Now give me the solution. Create a domino effect. When it comes down to you being a black man that's rich, create the domino effect. You got to know your audience. You're not talking to a bunch of prisoners. You're not talking to a bunch of kids that don't get it. It's obvious that I know my business may not work. It's obvious I know it's things that I got to do in order to obtain consumers. Now, for you to be a business guru or for you to be a strategist, for you to be a connector, for you to have, you can't go against what's there. You are the millionaire. You are great at business, obviously. How can you cause the domino effect so we can be like you or better than you? I don't need you to cuss at me and all that. I don't need you motherfuckers. I don't need that. A lot of you motherfuckers ain't gonna make it. I don't need you to cuss at me for me to get it. I paid my money for you to teach me, motivate me. Not to sound arrogant. And then for people to say, "Oh, y'all just soft and y'all don't want to hear the harsh reality." No, everybody don't need that type of reality. You're not talking to some jailbirds, bro. You're not talking to kids that's from an alternative school that can't get it together. You're talking to people with some type of business savvy intelligence and need more. You motherfuckers ain't 70% of you motherfuckers ain't gonna make it. And I made it. I came out of the penitentiary. I'm a millionaire and I make millions. I make people become millionaires. You got the peanut gallery. Then you got people that's like, bro, you're not talking to the peanut gallery. You're not talking to somebody that can't think past their height. You know when they say the message gonna go over your head? No, I think past my height. You're talking to know your audience. Calling this a bunch of motherfuckers? Oh, but you gotta have tough skin. Come on, bro. Like, come on. Let's be realistic here. So, trying to Wallow shouldn't be canceled. I don't think he should be canceled. I think that's a little bit too like. But he need to get checked. Yeah. Or he need a lesson learned. Like, well, you gotta know your audience, bro. Now, if you can't speak, then you just can't speak. You can still be a millionaire and really can't speak to the people. That's cool. Can't blame you for that. But you gotta know your audience. You gotta know how to approach. Everybody don't need the same approach. You got people like, oh, you should automatically know the lesson. There's a bunch of grown folks out there that should know the lesson. How do you expect people to just know? That's like telling students you should know the process of learning. Like, bro, what? I don't know. I don't know. But anywho, I don't think he should be canceled. I just think like his approach is all wrong. His approach was just like, you wasn't saying too much of nothing. It wasn't no solution based. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It was more like I don't be humble. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't gotta be humble. I don't care who you are. You don't have to be humble. When a person tell you to be humble, it's like you can look at it from a good perspective and you can look at it from a bad perspective. I just don't like when people tell me to be humble. But I will have humility. I will. Like, I wasn't humble when I was practicing. I wasn't humble when I was going hard, waking up early mornings, going to sleep late nights. But I do have humility for those who can't be where I'm at. I'm not showing arrogance. And that's all I seen. Arrogance. Don't make him a bad person. Doesn't make him a bad person. But all I seen was arrogance. Yeah, I'm on YouTube. Okay. That's all I seen was arrogance. Show us the way. That's it. Show us the way. Asking for much. Know your audience and show us the way. Now, what's up with this guy, TK, man? Ha! TK sentenced to 80 years in prison. Already doing a 55-year prison bid. I don't know if the 80 years is running wild. I don't know if it's running concurrent. think he went in about. Think he went in about 17 or something like that. I don't know. He went in about 17 years. I don't know. Somewhere 16, 17, 18, whatever. A 55-year bid. If he went in at 17, I want to say he went in at 17. That's what I really, really, really want to say, right? So if he went in at 17 plus 55, he'll be home at TK will be home at 72. He'll be 72 years old when he's coming home. TK will be 72 years old when he comes home with his first sentence, 55 years. What's the history on TK? Mother is a gangbanger. Father is a gangbanger. He lived with his parents. Need I say more? Now, some can say, well, look at me. I lived with my parents and they were gangbangers and I didn't go that route. Congratulations. Because it is possible. However, it's more that get caught up in the trap than don't get caught in the trap. TK parents are gang members. TK was a gang member. There's no telling what they was letting that kid do. There's no telling. Right, wrong, or indifferent, the law is the law, right? Sad, man. I don't even know what else to say about TK, man, but it's sad. I think he should have got a lesser time. I believe they tried to offer him 15 years. They offered him, the first case, they offered him 15 years. At 17 years old, passing a gun off to somebody to shoot somebody. He was 16 when it happened. So he would have been 31 years old. If TK would have took the deal for 15 years, he'd be 31 years old coming out of prison. Had a whole life ahead of him. Then he gets hit with the murder charge. They gave him 80 joints. That shit just crushed my soul. Some kids are just victims of their parents, man. Not all kids, but some kids are just victim of their parents, man. Damn. God save us all, man. B McFly, man. I'm clocking out. Let's go.